You thought you mattered to them. You talked every day, shared secrets, built something real, and then they disappeared. No warning, no explanation, no emotion, like you never existed. And how can someone do that and feel nothing? When someone cuts you off, your brain panics. It starts searching for answers. Did I say something wrong? Was I too much? Did they lose interest? You replay everything over and over and over because your brain hates one thing, uncertainty. So it creates a story where it's your fault, because at least that gives you control. But here's the truth your brain doesn't want to accept. Sometimes you didn't do anything wrong. Here's something people don't talk about. Not everyone connects the same way you do. You were building a bond, they were enjoying a moment. You were investing emotionally, they were staying optional. And the dangerous part? It looks the same in the beginning. They reply fast, they laugh, they show interest. But internally, they're not attaching, they're just experiencing. So when it ends, it doesn't feel like losing something real. It feels like, okay, that phase is over. But psychology calls this avoidant attachment. But let's make it simple. These are people who learned one rule growing up: don't rely on others. Maybe their emotions were ignored. Maybe they were hurt. Maybe they had to be independent too early, so their brain adapted. It said, connection is risky. Closeness equals pain. Depend on no one. So what happens when someone gets close to them? At first it feels good, but then it gets too real, too deep, too emotional, too vulnerable, and their brain reacts like it's in danger. So they do the only thing they know. They disconnect. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed they start pulling away right when things start getting serious? That's not a coincidence. There's always a moment, a small shift. Maybe you showed more emotion. Maybe you expected consistency. Maybe things started feeling real. That's when their brain goes, this is too much. And instead of communicating, they create distance, slower replies, less effort, colder energy, until one day they're just gone. No closure. Because closure requires emotional responsibility. And that's exactly what they avoid. Some people don't just avoid emotions. They've trained themselves to shut them off. Over time, their brain becomes efficient at one thing: detaching quickly. It's like a muscle. The more they do it, the easier it becomes. So when you think, how can they move on so fast? It's because this isn't new to them. They've done this before, many times, and each time, it gets easier to walk away. You process pain by thinking, by feeling, by reflecting. They process pain by avoiding, by distracting, by replacing. So while you're sitting there trying to understand, they're already busy with something else. Not because they healed, but because they never allowed themselves to feel it in the first place. This is where it hurts the most. You see them with someone new, laughing, smiling, acting like nothing happened, and you think, was I that easy to replace? But here's the truth. They're not replacing you. They're escaping the feeling. New people equals new distraction. New distraction equals no need to feel. It's not healing. It's avoidance. In a different form. You might be waiting, hoping they'll realize what they lost. Sometimes they do. But here's the problem. Avoidant people don't come back because they changed. They come back because they feel safe again. And when things get deep again, they leave again. Same pattern, different cycle. This is the part most people avoid. You're trying to understand someone who doesn't understand themselves. You're expecting emotional depth from someone who learned to avoid it. You're asking, how could they not care? But the real question is, were they capable of loving the way I needed? Some people don't leave because you're not enough. They leave because closeness feels like losing control. And until they fix that, they will keep leaving, no matter who they're with. If this opened your eyes, subscribe, because once you understand how people think, you stop chasing closure from others and start giving it to yourself.